Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Naveen, and today we'll be looking at XAT 2024 important topics under QA and DI, and this is part 4 of the series. So, most probably we'll be looking at least one set of DI, and we'll be looking at different topics under QA, which should include a bit of geometry, a bit of algebra, a bit of arithmetic. Okay. So, yeah, good afternoon, Prem, and everyone else. So let's begin with our first question, sorry. A plane is divided into 308 regions using 5 n lines. If the ratio of the number of parallel lines to the number of non-parallel lines is 2:3, then what is the value of 10n square plus 2n minus 32? So since we have a total of 5n lines and these are divided into 2:3, so can we say we have got 2n parallel lines and then we have got 3n non-parallel lines? Okay, so we need to find out what is the value of this expression. So let's do one thing. Let's convert this quadratic into factorized form if it is possible. So we have got 10n square plus 2n minus 32. So this can be broken down as can we factorize this? Quick. If you can factorize it quick, it will be great. If you're not able to, then we will leave it as such. So the sum is minus 1 by 5 and product is 8 by 5. Sorry, 16 by 5. 16, 8 and 4. So here the sum is sum of the two roots is minus 2 by 10 and the product of the roots is minus 32 by 10. So I'm not going to simplify it as 5. So I have to break down minus 32 by 10 as product of two numbers such that their sum results in minus 2 by 10. So this is going to be 16 and 2, no, 8 and 4. No, we can't straight away add 8 and 4, can we? Because if we add, we will getting 4, but our denominator is going to remain 10, so it will become 4 by 10. Okay, so it's not that easy to convert this into in factorized form. Okay, now let's try to find out how are these regions going to be, I mean, how are 2n lines and 3n lines are going to divide the plane into. So let's take an example. Suppose there are two parallel lines, right? And then we have three non-parallel lines. So three non-parallel lines are going to be, something like this. Non-parallel, right? They may intersect at this point, they may intersect at this point, something of that sort. So the total number of regions that we can see, one of the possibilities are going to be these many regions, right? So this is going to be 4 above, and then we have got 5 below, and then again we have got 4 below, right? So since it doesn't say it is divided into maximum 308 regions, so we can have a lot of possibilities, right? We can have a lot of possibilities. So looks like this will require more time. So एक काम करते हैं, let's solve the questions as we get it, okay? And we will only solve those questions first. We'll come back to this question. We'll only solve those questions first, which will take less time because it doesn't say maximum 308, minimum 308. It simply says 308. So हमें cases check करने पड़ेंगे, depending upon how those lines are divided into. The point of intersection of those 3n lines, is it between the parallel lines or is it above the parallel lines, right? ठीक है, जल्दी से चलते हैं next question पे. Find the sum of the lengths of the perpendicular lines drawn to the sides from a point P, which is inside an equilateral triangle whose sides have a length of 6 root 3 each, to sides of the triangle. Okay, fine. We have an equilateral triangle. Okay, let's say the equilateral triangle is ABC, and it is given that there is a point which is inside the equilateral triangle. Now, this point can be any point, right? So, to make it easier, let's say the point is the orthocenter or the circumcenter or the centroid or the incenter, which is the same for an equilateral triangle. So, this is the point. Okay. Then we are asked to find out the sum of these perpendicular lengths, right? If I call these as PQR, so we need to find out OP plus OQ plus OR, right? Which is nothing but the in radius of this equilateral triangle. And we know that OP, OQ, OR, they are going to be same, right? So it will result in 3R. Now, an in radius of an equilateral triangle is given as side upon 2 root 3. Now, the side is given to us as 6 root 3 upon 2 root 3 is what we have. If you solve this, you will get 3. So, we have got the sum of the lengths of those perpendiculars as 3R. So, the answer is going to be 9. Okay. Next one. The perimeter of a right angle triangle is 56 units. If the length of the shortest median is 12.5 units, then find the length of the median that is neither the longest nor the shortest in units. Okay, so we have a right angle triangle. And since it says neither the longest nor the shortest, and there is a shortest median, so that means we have 3 medians of different sizes, different lengths. That means the sides are different length. Now, पहला trick here, as in the quicker part is, if we can divide 56 into 3 parts such that they become a triplet, right? So for 56, इसका half ले लेते हैं, which is around 28. So 28 से थोड़ा सा आगे पीछे, what triplet can exist? Can we take 7, 24 and 25? This is a triplet, isn't it? This is 7, this is going to be 24 and this is going to be 25. Such that the perimeter is 56. It makes sense. Now, either you trust this or you straight away and you straight away solve it, or you just verify the shortest median is 12.5 units or not. Because once you verify that, you will be confident that this is the right angle triangle they are talking about. Okay? So how will we decide which is the shortest one? So obviously you can see that the shortest median will always lie on the longest side, which is the hypotenuse here, right? Ye shortest hoga. And if you know that in the case of a right angle triangle, the median length on the hypotenuse is half the hypotenuse. So this is 25, so each will be 12.5, which completely makes sense. Okay? So this is verified. Once this is verified, then we need to find out neither the longest nor the shortest. If you want to find the median of that length, you will have to choose the side on which that median is dropped, which is neither the longest nor the shortest, which is 24. So 24 पे आपको ये length निकालना है, which turns out to be that this is going to be 12. So we need to find out the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle, ये वाला triangle का. which is going to be 7 square plus 12 square ka under root, which is going to be 49 plus 144 ka under root, which is going to end in 3. And you can actually also, calculate it and you will get your answer, under root 193. So triplets are important for us to remember in order to solve questions quick. Next, find the difference between in radius and circumradius in a triangle whose sides have lengths 9, 10 and 17. Okay. So let's see if you guys have answered. Okay. CAT score result card is not opening Jigyasa. So Jigyasa, in that case, clear the cache of your browse or try it after some time. Is that how much time should you divide for each section, because there is no sectional time? So Sonali, actually, it's your choice, right? So some people will decide that the section which they are confident in, they will do it first so that they maximize the score there, and then clear out the other the other 3 sections. Or some people will be like, let's first of all get done with the top sections that I'm not confident in. ये completely आपके ऊपर depend करता है. And especially for your case, I believe that you have written as many mocks that you would know that which is best for you, right? So is Quant, because you have written so many CAT mocks, so you know that Quant को आप last में भी tackle कर पाओगे. Now you have gotten used to it. कि कम time में भी या 40 minutes is good enough for you to attempt the Quant section, and कितने questions कर पा रहे हो. Please do remember that XAT level Quant and CAT level Quant, they are at the same level या थोड़ा सा नीचे होता है. So XAT का Quant का level थोड़ा सा नीचे होता है when it comes to calculation or that wise. Concept wise, trick wise, थोड़ा सा higher level होता है. So overall, if I take it, XAT and CAT Quant, they are of the same level. Okay. So if you have been attempting, or if you have written so many mocks where you finish your verbal, then you finish your DI, and then you finish your Quant, so आप उसी scenario उसी sequence में जा सकते हो. DM is one thing which some people they take more time, because आपको सोचना पड़ता है कभी-कभी काफी ज़्यादा depending upon question. तो आप DM पहले कर सकते हो. So there is no hard and fast rule that this should be done first and this should be done last. ये person to person depend करेगा. Okay, since we have raised objections releasing result without their acknowledgement and that a bad gesture, does this happen? Radha Vinod, if they had found that there is actually an issue in the questions that you have sent and which is across, so I don't think वो कोई bad gesture. If there is if there have been genuinely issues like 2022 के in LRDI there were some questions that were wrong. उस केस में वो clarify कर दिया उन्होंने, ठीक है, and they awarded the marks accordingly, people who attempted them. Nikhil, we have already begun with our MBA's OMET classes. If you're talking specifically for MHCET, it will start somewhere in the month of January. Okay? Okay. Chalo. Find the difference between in radius and circumradius in a triangle whose sides have lengths of 9. Okay, Priya, I saw your message. I'll reply to that in some time. 9, 10 and 17. Now 9, 10 and 17 is not an equilateral triangle. It's not an isosceles triangle. It is a scalene triangle. And in a scalene triangle, how do we deal with in radius and circumradius? Well, in radius of a scalene triangle is given as area of a triangle divided by semi-perimeter, right? You don't do half RS, it's simply RS. And the circumradius is given as the product of the three sides into 4 times area. Now, since we are asked to find out the difference between these two, so we will have to do ABC by 4 times area, because obviously R is greater than small r, as in capital R is greater than small r, minus area upon S, which is going to be calculative. So it all comes down to, would you like to solve this or not? ठीक है. So मेरे को ये लगता नहीं है कि इससे सॉल्व होना चाहिए. Can we use a shortcut? As in, can we improvise here? If you look at the option 63 by 2 in 30s, 65 by 4 in 15 16s, 67 by 5 is 12 13, and 69 by 8 is 8. So the difference is huge. So what we can do is, so obviously this is not going to work. बहुत calculative है, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the sides as 9, 10 and 17 जो है. So 9, 10 and under root 17 की जगह 100 plus 81 under root 181. Can I say this will form a right angle triangle, a perfect right angle triangle? This is 9, this is 10, and the hypotenuse is what it is supposed to be. Now under root 181 is going to be approximately 16 point something. Now if I want to calculate the circumradius of this equilateral triangle, okay, sorry, this right angle triangle. So if I want to calculate the circumradius of that right angle triangle, this is given as 16 point something ka half, right? Hypotenuse ka half hota hai. So this is going to be 8 point something. And if I want to calculate the in radius, that is given as altitude plus base minus hypotenuse upon 2. So this is going to give us 19 minus 16 point something. 19 minus 16 is 3. So this is going to be 2 point something by 2. So this is going to be 1 point something. Now, if I take the difference, it's going to be 6 point something or 7 point something, right? So we do not have a huge range that we get it. Now, please do remember that actually it's not under root 181. Actually, it is 17, which is under root 189. So this is a little twisted right angle. Now, it is a little above right angle triangle, which is an obtuse triangle. Jidhar pe, if instead of 16 point something, if I make it as hold on. Instead of 16 point something, वो 16 point something से ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. So this will also increase a bit. This will also increase a bit. The difference is going to increase by a minute value. So all we need to do is find out which of the given options is going to be closest to 7 point something or 8 point something, right? तो इससे थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. Now 63 by 2 is 30s में, 65 by 4 is 15s में, 67 by 5 is 13s में, 69 by 8 is 8s में. So out of all the 4 options, I believe only D makes sense. So this was a little quicker than using this particular formula and solving it. So D होगा आंसर. ठीक है. Okay. See, sometimes what happens is, so I will answer Priya's query. Sometimes what happens is CAT releases the scorecard and then they check the traffic and then they say if everything is working, then they stop it for some time and then they release it again after some time. So maybe वैसा हुआ होगा if someone has shown their actual scorecard of 2023 CAT. So might be it was open for some small window, small duration, and they may have been able to download it. पर उसके लिए तो भाई Every time you will have to check it. So don't worry, it will be notified. You will get an SMS, you will get an email once the CAT result is out. Anyways, you must be added to one or the other WhatsApp, Telegram groups, right? वहां पर आप चेक करते रहो, पता चल जाएगा. एंड डोंट वरी, इट्स नॉट कि 1 घंटे के लिए रिजल्ट आने वाला है. वो रिजल्ट बहुत दिनों के लिए खुला रहेगा, है ना. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले रिजल्ट देखेंगे तो ज्यादा नंबर आएंगे, कम आएंगे. आराम से, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. Okay, next one. In an equilateral triangle ABC, D and E are on BC such that BDDEC is 1:1:1. Find the ratio of AB and AD. Okay, so we have an equilateral triangle which is given as A, B, and C. D and E are points here on BC such that BD, DE, EC are 1:1:1. Okay, so sorry, this is D. So it is given that ये तीनों बराबर है. Find the ratio of AB and AD. Okay. देखो AB and AD में AB is going to be greater. ऑप्शन A नहीं हो सकता, ऑप्शन C नहीं हो सकता, because this is under root 9. So it's either going to be B or it is going to be D, right? And थोड़ा सा अगर common sense लगाओ तो without doing any calculation, I believe you guys will be able to get the answer. कि is it a possibility that if you will not if you take this side as 3 for AB, तो ये तो irrational आने के chances है. It can be rational, it can be irrational, right? Sorry, ये तो 1 होगा, obviously not this one. I meant this one. This one can be rational or irrational, right? Very much possible. But if you take this as irrational, तो ये तो irrational होगा. But is it going to be root 7? As in, will you ever take this side as root 7 and verify, prove it? Nahin, na? So I don't think D should be answer if you use a bit of common sense. And it will be a very quick answer. But if you are not satisfied with this particular logic, in that case, we will have to solve it. That if I assume the side of this equilateral triangle to be 1 each, so we will have, 3 each. So we'll have 1, 1, 1 here at the bottom. Then I will have to draw the perpendicular, which is going to be this. If this is the perpendicular and this entire thing is 1, so this means this is going to be half, right? And this one is going to be the height of an equilateral triangle, which is given as root 3 by 2 times side. Now, if I want to calculate the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle, AD, let's call this as P, right? This is a right angle triangle. So this is going to be given as half square plus 3 times of root 3 by 2 whole square ka under root. So I can take out half common. So I will be left with 1 plus 9 into 3, 27. So this becomes 28 ka square root, wherein I can take out 2 outside and under root 7 and I have a 2. So root 7 is what I'll get for this. So anyways, the answer is B. So ये जो 30-40 seconds extra लगा in order to calculate the length of AD, right? We could have saved it. जिसमें अगर आपने इसको 3 लिया, which is common sense because BC has to be divided into 3 equal parts. तो आप 3 लोगे, 1 लोगे तो fraction से deal करोगे. So it saves some time and you get the answer quicker. Okay, next. In a circle whose radius is 16 centimeter, quadrilateral is drawn. PQ is the diameter and angle RSP is 60 degree. Find the area of PQRS in centimeter square if PS is equal to SR. Okay, so we need a circle whose radius is 16 centimeter. PQ is the diameter So PQ. And PS and SR are same. And we have got RSP is equal to 60 degree. So we have PQRS. Okay, this will only make sense if I have R and S close so that I get RSP as 60 degrees. So we have got this, this, and this. And it is given that these two are equal. And it is given that this is 60 degrees. So we need to find out the area of this particular quadrilateral. And radius is 16, so this is 16 and this is 16. Anything else? No. Okay, so can we divide this particular quadrilateral into two triangles, PRQ and PRS? Now, PRQ is going to be an equilateral triangle, sorry, a right angle triangle, because at R we will have 90 degrees. And this is going to, Acha, options are quite far, right? If I ignore root 3, one is 24, another is 36, another is 40, and another is 64, right? So can we do approximation and get the answer? See, if this figure is kind of accurate, which it is not, because RSP looks more like 90 degrees than 60 degrees. So actually it's going to be more close. So instead of 60 degrees, if I convert into a 90 degrees at S, can we say it will look like a right angle triangle where the hypotenuse is 32? But the problem then will be that we would not know the other side. RSP 60. Okay, so it's going to be difficult in this particular figure. So this is how I'm going to draw it. So it should look like 60 degrees. I'm sorry if it doesn't look like 60 degrees, guys. Okay. So this is our P, this is our Q, this is our R, this is our S. This is given as 60 degrees. It's given that they both are equal. It is given that these two are equal, and I will take a point here, center pay, which is going to be O. That's it. Okay. Now, if I join OR, so if this length is 16 OQ and PO is also 16, so OR will also turn out to be 16. बता सकते हो क्यों? Because this OR is also going to be the radius, right? So 16 and 16 we have. Okay. Next thing is, since this PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral, if this is going to be 60 degrees, then it should form a Okay, so should that be 60? It is 90 there. Hmm. So if this angle is going to be theta, this angle is going to be theta, because we don't know the length of QR, right? So this turns out to be 2 theta, but this is not cyclic in any way. And whatever, ठीक है, angle पे नहीं जाते हैं because we need the area. That is 60 degrees. Oh, it says PS is equal to SR. Why मैं सोचूं what is the issue? Why are we not? Sorry. It says PS is equal to SR. Hold on. I'll do one thing. I'll draw a circle here. Not using pen. It is very important. कि आप ना क्वेश्चन ध्यान से पढ़ो. These silly mistakes that I do sometimes, क्वेश्चन गलत पढ़ने के कारण ये ट्रबलसम हो जाता है ना. Okay. So we have the diameter PQ. It is given that PS is equal to SR. So we have PS is equal to SR. Guys, अब ये बताना, I don't care SR is parallel to PQ or not, but will I get 60 degrees here? नहीं, इसमें तो नहीं मिलेगा. Can I say this is only possible to get 60 degrees if it is going to be something like this? थोड़ा सा और नीचे कर लेते हैं. See, if the shape is something that you are able to understand, then only it will make more sense as to what is happening. Otherwise, बहुत मुश्किल होता है समझना कि क्या चल रहा है. Now this is fine. Even though I have read this like 10 times, तब भी गलती कर दी मैंने. So this is 60 degrees. अब कुछ नहीं बचा इस क्वेश्चन में. So if I join PR, what will happen is I'll get two triangles. One is PSR, which is a right angle triangle. Why? Because PS and SR, they are equal. So this is definitely an isosceles triangle. That tells us कि इधर जो angle होगा, the same angle I will have here. Well, out of 180, 60 is already above. So we will have another 60 and 60. This is the only way. Another PRQ is going to be a right angle triangle. Why is this going to be a right angle triangle? Because PQ is the diameter. So if you have a triangle where one of the sides is the diameter in a circle, it is always a right angle triangle. So this is given as 16, this is given as 16. Okay. ठीक है. Now the question arises, PS becomes 60 there. So it should also become 60. क्वेश्चन में कुछ मेरे को लग रहा है, नॉट क्वेश्चन, फिगर में देयर इज सम इश्यू. Okay. The issue in this, the lines that I have drawn is कि if I take a circle and suppose this is the diameter, and if I draw any triangle here, ये 60 degrees नहीं हो सकता. This has to be obtuse, right? This is only going to be 60 degrees if R is someplace over here. Okay, so please understand that when you draw a triangle in a circle, and if all the three sides they are on the same side of the diameter, the angle is always obtuse. Three sides की जगह three vertices ले लो आप. ठीक है. When you have a diameter and one of the vertices is on one side, the other is on the other, then only you will have an acute angle here. And 60 degrees is acute. And if this point lies on the diameter itself, then you get a right angle triangle. So this can never be 60 because if you look at the triangle PSR, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता, right? So R is going to be, so this is PS, this is SR, so this is PS, SR, and then we have got, and it says PQ is the diameter. Now PQ has to be diameter. So this is not the kind of quadrilateral we were expecting, right? Because PQRS is not your typical quadrilateral. But tell me, can we still get the area of this particular quadrilateral? Iska area, they are similar, right? Definitely similar. What ratio will they be behaving in? Well, that is 60, this is 60. We take PSQR, उसमें से ये हटा दो. Nope, won't work. Again, stuck in another question. We'll come back to this later on. क्योंकि figure work नहीं कर रहा. Let's see what you guys have to say. उसको देखा है सर, एक ही चीज जल्दी कॉन्सेंट्रेट भी नहीं हो रहे देते एग्जाम, उनके जैसे पर्सन मार्क्स हाई सेट हो जाते. Right side. Priya, how many people wrote the exam? Around 2,20,000 as per, I mean, the people who registered. कितने लोगों ने exam लिखा वो पता चलेगा exactly once the results are out. How many of the teachers wrote the exam? And how many of the teachers are going to get 100 percentile? It's not easy for even a teacher to get 100 percentile. In one of the sections they may get a huge percentile, but how many teachers, how many CAT teachers pan India write the exam in the same slot or overall? यार लाखों में 300-200 लोगों से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. And anyways, they're not going to get admitted. So if they have these many seats available and they have called in these many people, so the faculties won't be going for the interviews, right? Right? तो उनको हटा दो आप. So don't you think that doesn't affect your chances of getting into any B school just because some faculty has written the exam? And suppose when I write CAT exam, I don't attempt verbal like I should as an aspirant. मैं verbal 20-25 minutes में करके जितना होता है कर लेता हूँ, छोड़ देता हूँ. Because my expertise is in LRDI and Quant. So I prefer those. ठीक है. अब आप ये बताओ, अगर हम एग्जाम नहीं लिखेंगे तो आपको एग्जाम देने के आने के बाद जब आपको रहता है कि अरे पेपर कैसा था, बाकी लोगों ने कैसा करा, how will you get to know if faculties don't write the exam? Because CAT will not release it. अगले एक हफ्ते तक तो अभी जितने टेंशन में उससे ज्यादा टेंशन में रहते फिर नहीं. Okay, next one. So the previous one, there is some issue. We will look into it. Maybe it's the quadrilateral is not PQRS but rather PRQS. एक बार check करना पड़ेगा. An equilateral triangle ABC is drawn Fine, I drew it. A, B, and C. BC is tangent to a circle at D, and A is on the circumference of the circle. Okay. AB cuts the circle at P, and this is point D. Such that BC is a tangent to the circle at D and A is on the circumference and AB cuts the circle at P. Find the ratio AB and PB, as in we need to find this part. And this is an equilateral triangle, so this might make things better. So this is 60 degrees, this is 60 degrees. This one is 60 degrees. They all are equal. Is D the midpoint? Don't know. But will D have a unique place? We need to find out AB and PB. It doesn't talk about where does the circle touch AC. So maybe it doesn't touch circle AC. Excuse me. As in doesn't cut. ये कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है? नहीं. I mean, it is possible. कि I'll draw a circle such that AC is also tangent, but that is also not given again. Okay. So XAT Quant, that's why they are a little tricky. Okay, let's assume that it touches P, AB and AC at they cut it at those 2 points. And the diameter of the circle is equal to the height of this equilateral triangle, which is going to be √3 by 2 times the side. Let's say the side is S. So this is going to be S by 2 and this is going to be S by 2. This entire thing is S. So obviously D is not the answer क्योंकि S बड़ा होगा. Okay. So since this is tangent, so it has to be perpendicular to the center, right? So if I drop this is 90 degrees. That is not a tangent. If I join this one is 30 degrees because this has to be 60. If I join this one is 30. But neither of those can be that. Figure सही बनाना पड़ेगा. For that I will have to take the help of shapes. Shape fill, no fill, shape outline void, and we want this to be an equilateral triangle, so it should look like an equilateral triangle. Then I should have a circle that should be on the circumference there, the tip, or yeah. Shape fill is no fill, shape outline is this. Okay. Why I have drawn this is because it never talked about as to where does it touch the side AC, right? We just know that it is going to BC is going to be a tangent and it touches AB at D. एक और पॉसिबिलिटी है, नहीं? लेट्स ट्राई टू मूव दिस सर्कल इन सच अ वे कि ये एक्चुअली वैसा हो जाए जैसा ये बोल रहा है. So A is in the circumference of this circle. So there are a lot of ways, right? एक शेप तो ये हो गया, no idea क्यों. It doesn't talk about, so here the ratio is going to be different, right everyone? AB is going to have a different ratio with AD. अब तो different हो गया ना? So sorry, this is P. So AB is of the same length, PB changes, and if I shift it further, the side BC is still going to be tangent to the circle at D. It never says that what is the point D here. Is it the midpoint of the equilateral triangle? Is it at a certain ratio? Again, another question which is right now difficult. We'll go back to that. देखते हैं. A circle has three tangents. E and F are points on AB and BC. If angle ABC, चलो ये doable होगा. We have three tangents. One is from B to A and then B to C. Okay. So obviously they both are equal. And EF. E and F are points on AB and BC. Okay, so this one is E and this one is F. Okay. So this is the third tangent. Now it is given that, so what will happen is this is equal to this and these two are equal. It is given that angle ABC is 70 degrees. And if O is the center, so मैंने completely symmetrical ले लिया to save time here. So this is 90 and then similarly this is going to be 90. Then find angle EOF. Okay. So that one is 70 degrees and these two should be equal, right? So each one is going to be 55 because in the triangle BEF the sum should be 180 and BEF is an isosceles triangle as of now. Excuse me. This is 55. So if I join OE and OF, now common sense, using symmetry, this is also an isosceles triangle, right? And OABC, this is a cyclic quadrilateral, right? Whenever you have a pair of tangents drawn from an outside external point onto the circle, both the tangents, then the entire quadrilateral is cyclic in nature. So if that is 70, this entire angle is going to be remaining 110 degrees. Now, if we think about this, if I draw this, ये भी 90 होगा and this is going to be the radius. So if this is 55 and AE will be equal to EP, CF will be equal to FP. Why? Because now E and F are external points wherein we have drawn the pair of tangents. So what we get is OAPE. This is cyclic in nature. cyclic quadrilateral, where same logic up. OAEP is a cyclic quadrilateral where OE is the symmetrical line. Okay, it divides, मतलब ये दोनों triangles जो हैं ये आपके congruent है, right? It always does so. A circle and a pair of tangents. If they are congruent, so we are pretty sure that this angle is going to be same as this angle, right? So ये आपका 55 है. So remaining is 125. 125 में 62.5 is here. Similarly, you will have 62.5, right? So 125 is here. So leftover is going to be here, which is back to 55, right? Which means this particular angle gets substituted here. ठीक है? Okay. So 55 is going to be the answer. Okay, next one is a DI or an LR. तो हमें मेरे को हाइड करना पड़ेगा. अरे निक्की रोडी, बाकी लोग को इधर मत लेकर आओ भाई. Okay. So the timetable for a flight passing over France that cuts across several time zones is given in the table below. So onward journey, Society Islands to Marcus Islands, it's 10 to 11:30 it takes, or return may it takes 9:30 to 10. So let's understand this. Society Island आप शुरू करते हो सुबह के 10 बजे, ठीक है, and you reach Marcus Island, so SINMI, at 11:30. Okay, this is one train. Now, if you choose another day, another train, same train, doesn't matter which is returning. So you start at 9:30 here, but you reaches at 10 again. Now this is weird, है ना? ऐसा तो नहीं है कि up the hill, down the hill जा रहे हैं. So last में लिखा हुआ है, let's read it. The average speed of the plane between any two locations is same in both the directions. So speed same, distance same, obviously time same होना चाहिए. The time listed in the table are local times. So ये जो 10 बज रहा है ये इस city का standard time है. And this 11:30 and 9:30, these are the standard times of MI. So how do we find the time zone difference and what do you mean by time zone difference? Simple सी बात है. If I talk about India right now, so India में अगर अभी को 2 PM हो रहा होगा, and then if I talk about New Zealand right now, right, New Zealand में it's definitely going to be more than 2 PM. So suppose उधर को 10 PM हो रहा है, though it will be more, पर मान लिया चलो. So can I say this particular country, New Zealand, this is 8 hours ahead than India if I consider India to be a standard time zone. मतलब हम इधर हैं तो हमारे current time zone के respect में. So we'll say New Zealand is 8 hours ahead. America is 12 hours, 11 hours behind us, right? So this happens. So whenever you have a positive time zone difference with respect to a particular country or a city, it means it's on the east. And whenever you have negative time zone difference, मतलब वो west में होगा. Okay? Now, also, ऐसा क्यों है कि जाने में 1.5 घंटे लग रहे, लौटने में केवल half an hour? Actually, when you go from SI to MI, it doesn't take you 1.5 hours. वो वहां के देखने वाले लोगों के हिसाब से 1.5 hours है, उधर के टाइम के हिसाब से. So what you do in such cases in order to calculate time zone difference and normal, you take the average of travel journey. So 1.5 and half का जो average है, that is going to be 1 hour. So here the time zone difference, let's call that as TZD, इसको हम लोग 1 hour है. ठीक है? Now, if SI is at 10 o'clock and MI is at 11:30, तो अगर आपको 1 घंटा टाइम जोन डिफरेंस है, but it says 1.5 hours, so can we say this is half an hour journey only? जर्नी आधे घंटे का है, सॉरी, जर्नी 1 आवर का है, जर्नी is 1 hour, but time zone difference is half an hour. उल्टा. So you take the average of 1.5 and half, and that will give you, obviously journey का average journey देखना चाहिए. So journey, it's a 1 hour journey. So when somebody starts at SI at 10 o'clock, he should reach MI at 11. पर क्योंकि वहां की घड़ी आधे घंटे आगे चलती है, so it says 11:30. Similarly, MI से when somebody starts at 9:30, 1 hour later it should be 10:30. But SI पे जो time zone difference है, that's half an hour. That's why the clock there shows 10 o'clock. Right? अब SI and MI में which one is going to be to the east and which one is going to be the west? बहुत simple observation है. Whichever side journey is more, that is on the eastern side. जैसे if I look at 1.5 hours and half an hour, बड़ा number कौन सा है? 1.5. तो 1.5 is from SI to MI, so MI is to the east. मतलब SI इधर होगा, MI उसके east में होगा. कितना east? Enough east so that this is half an hour time zone difference, while travel time is only a 1 hour travel time. So we get to solve this by taking any pair of stations और उसमें find out करना कि what is the average of the journey duration. That will give you the actual journey time, and whatever difference you are left with, it will give you the time zone difference. ठीक है? Time zone difference based questions have been there in XAT for a long time. So let's look at the questions that are asked. Which of the following pairs of cities has the maximum difference in the time zone? For how many pairs of successive locations is the difference in time zone equal to 1 hour? What is the actual duration of travel between any pair of two successive locations? So these are the questions. So we will have to accordingly solve. तो हमें थोड़ा सा solve करना है, but we are not going to solve everything. What we are going to do is we are going to solve as per the question. इन सारे में से maximum difference in time zone किसका है? CIGU. So for CIGU, if we want, for CIGU, if you want to solve, so CI is here and GU is here. So 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that is 5 hours, and 12 to 9. That is, this is 12 p.m. to 9 a.m. guys. ठीक है, ध्यान देना. So this is 9 hours. So average of 5 and 9 is going to give us 7 hours. This is journey travel. This is journey time. तो 7 में से अगर आप 2 कम कर दोगे तो 5, 7 में से 2 ऐड कर दोगे तो 9. So the time zone difference is 2 hours, right? So इसका 2 हो गया. MF and FG. So we have got MF and FG. So 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. So this is only 5 hours, guys, right? And वापस जाते वक्त में this is 3 p.m. to 12 p.m. 3 p.m. to 12 p.m. is 9 hours. Now, average of 5 and 9 is going to remain same. So time zone difference abhi bhi 2 hoga. So we have an option which says both A and B, but we'll have to check further now. C, MA and MF. So we have got MA and MF. This is 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. This is 3 hour. And 4 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to 3 p.m. Monday. Hold on. Why is this -1? Okay. हमें क्या निकालना है? Maximum difference in the time zone, right? So you start at 4 p.m. You cover certain distance, but still वहां का time आपको पहले का दिखा रहा है. So obviously it's to the west. So it is -1 hour here. So the average of 3 and -1 is going to be 1. So this is your journey time. सो जर्नी टाइम में तो टाइम जोन डिफरेंस इज 1 से 3 इज 2 आवर्स और इसका ये okay, so this also gives us 2 hours. Let's look at option D, KI and AL. KI and AL. So 10 to 4, this is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wow. So this is 6 hours, same day. And 8 p.m. to 4 p.m. Oh, this is minus 4 hours. So we will have 6 plus minus 4 divided by 2, which is going to give us 1. ये अगर आपका जर्नी टाइम है तो 1 से हाउ फार इज 6, so 5, so time zone difference is going to be 5 hours long. So obviously the largest time zone difference we have is in for option D. 5 घंटे का difference है उनमें, right? We are getting negative value guys because it's to the west of it. ठीक है? Next, how many pairs of successive locations is this difference in time zone equal to 1 hour? Okay, successive में 1 hour हमें find out करना है. So I should erase this. This is 1.5 and हमें क्या निकालना? Time zone difference? Yes, not travel time. So this is 1.5 and this is half. So 1.5 and half is average is 1. So half an hour का time zone difference. Okay, 11:30 to 1 and 9 to 9:30. So 11:30 to 1 is again 1.5. This is half. So abhi bhi time zone difference half ही है. 1 to 3 this is 2 hours. 9 to 9 this is 0 hours. So average is going to be 3 and 0 का, sorry, 2 and 0 का 1. And since it takes 0, so this is going to be 1. Okay, next 3 to 8 is 5 hours journey, and 12 p.m. to 9 a.m. this is 9 hours. So we have got 5 hours and 9 hours. 5 and 9 का average is, okay, we have already calculated this ना, last question में इसको करा हुआ है हमने, 5 करा हुआ है, sorry 5 नहीं था, 2 था, it was 2. Next, 8 and 10 is 2 hours and 12 to 12 is 0, so 1 hai, so this is going to be 1. 10 to 3 was 5 hours and this was 9 hours, this is same as 2. 3 to 6 is 3 hours. 4 to 3 is minus 1, so average is 1, so this will be again 2. This is something we have calculated already. 6 to 8 is 2 hours. 4 to 4 is 0, so that is 1 and 1. 8 to 10 is 2 hours. 4 to 4 is 0. ये again 1 हुआ. 10 to 4 is 6 hours. Yes. And 8 to 4 is minus 4. So 6 and minus 4 का average will be 1. But the time zone difference is going to be 5. 4 to 6 is 2 hours. 8 to 8 is 0. So average is 1. Time zone difference is 1. 6 to 8 is 2. So your time zone difference ये हमारा 1. So how many such consecutive we find कि 1 hour का time zone difference है? We find only 2 of them. How many difference in time zone equal to 1 hour? Oh, difference in time zone equal to 1 hour, not time zone being equal to 1 hour. So 1 and 2 का difference is 1 hour, 2 and 1 का difference is 1 hour, 1 and 2 का difference is 1 hour, 2 and 1 का difference is 1 hour. So how many do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 4 of them. Right? So the question is not about time zone difference is 1 hour, but it is how many pairs of successive locations, जिसमें से difference in time zone जो है वो हमारा 1 hour है. एक बार फिर से चेक कर लेते हैं. CI to GU, sorry, successive locations. CI to GU is 1, 2, so difference is 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. 2 घंटे। ठीक है, so we get 4. Okay, next question. What is the actual duration of travel between any pair of two successive locations? Travel duration. Well, travel duration, it can be 1 hour हो सकता है यहाँ. Next one is 11:30 to 1, which is again 1 hour. Then 1 to 3, that is again 1 hour. 3 to 8, this is 3 hours, right? So from the options, it should be C, because we can see 1 hour, but then we also have more than 1 hour. So what is it trying to imply here? Now more than 1.5 hours, तो चलो ठीक है. Okay, ठीक है. So we have got D, A and C as the options. D, A and C as the options. वो बीच वाले में क्या हो गया? D, A and C. Okay, D, A and C. Okay, there are two questions that we have to look into. Question number 7. A bit confusing here. ठीक है, 7 में I think there is something missing, because we have already seen this is properly an equilateral triangle and a circle, and we can see कि ratios जो है वो skewed है. Definitely it's not going to be D, and it even doesn't say what can be the ratio, है ना, कि हम range भी निकाल सके extreme cases. And if I move this further away, so it won't be a part of the circumference. What if I draw a circle which is big enough like this? So that it doesn't touch C at all. It is possible, right? कि सर्किल इतना बड़ा कर लो कि ये C को टच ही ना करे. Doesn't look very good, because the ratio looks a lot. It's not 4:1. So you can see that the bottom length is minute, which is going to be PB, while that length is going to be AB, which is huge. So none of the ratios work. BC is a tangent to a circle at D, and A is on the circumference of the circle. AB cuts the circle at P. Nope. कुछ issue है question number 7 में? Okay. This particular question, again, this is the only way by which we will be able to get 60 degrees here, but unfortunately the quadrilateral is not PQRS. It is actually either PRQS or PSQR. So we really can't do anything about it, since that part is not mentioned. So हमें नहीं पता कि हमें कौन सा quadrilateral का area निकालना है. ठीक है, this is something we can again leave. We will have to leave. And same problem with this first question. It says 308 regions, but it doesn't discuss minimum 308 regions or maximum 308 regions. So we'll get a range of values. And if we get range of values, ये तो बहुत कुछ हो सकता है. And unfortunately, we are not able to 320 का 4 टाइम्स कितना होता है? 1280. 1284 का square root. Not possible, right? Because if you have an even number, it should be odd. Okay, so we won't be able to factorize it in real value terms, not real, rational value terms. So again, since we don't know the range, we won't be able to solve this. Again, something is amiss here. So 3 questions amiss, बाकी questions तो हो गया था, right? चलो, yeah, hi Ranvijay, how are you? So unlock your 3 days free trial access, everyone, by downloading our BYJU'S exam prep app. It's free. All you have to do is put in a contact number and click on the button which says start free trial. You can get our CAT and non-CAT 2023 test series that includes more than 55 non-CAT mocks. So CAT का रिजल्ट जल्दी ही आ जाएगा, आपको मॉक्स चाहिए होंगे non-CAT, so आपको ये देखने पड़ेंगे सारे. Talk to our counselor regarding any mocks, any batches, any course that you are going to start, not necessarily paid ones, but also the sessions that we are going to begin on YT or on the app. So you can have a look at that. You can get your percentile predicted right before the CAT results are out, and also you can get to know which all colleges you are eligible for. Click on the link which is pinned in the chat. And please do not forget to join us for the first impression and detailed analysis on 7th of January, next year, of course. And do not forget to follow and subscribe and check out our social media handles and pages. That's all for today. Thank you. Priya, that happens. That's the issue. अगर आपने मेरे पहले के सेशंस देखे होंगे तो मैंने कहा था कि अगर आप NMAT को सीरियसली नहीं ले रहे, NMAT, so you have to make sure that you write 1 or 2 NMAT exams before CAT. क्यों? So that you get used to CAT exam. पहला चीज. दूसरा, CAT के बाद if people are thinking I will be able to do well wonders in NMAT, and if you have screwed up your CAT exam, आपका जब तक रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा तब तक मन नहीं लगेगा. Because you guys are not used to it. स्कूल में क्या होता था, एक एग्जाम दिया रिजल्ट आया, फिर नेक्स्ट एग्जाम दिया रिजल्ट आया, so that you have a very clear mind as to what is going to happen. In real life things don't happen that way. आज आपने जो स्टेप्स लिए हैं उसका रिजल्ट आपको 5 साल बाद मिलेगा. So are you going to wait for those 5 years? उसके बाद you are going to take the next step in your career or in your life? नहीं ना, आने दो रिजल्ट, देखा जाएगा. Keep on doing whatever you have to do. This is called as management, right? So you have to forget about the results. You have to forget about every exam. अभी एग्जाम दिया है, एग्जाम देकर आए, एक दिन मातम मनाओ उसके ऊपर, या पटाखे छोड़ो, जो करना है करो, ठीक है, खुशी मनाओ मतलब. And then you have to refresh, you have to restart, you will have to reset yourself. और भूल जाओ जो हुआ एग्जाम में, अच्छा गया खराब गया, ये क्वेश्चन गलती करी, वो क्वेश्चन गलती करी. If you are going to get stuck, तो यही होने वाला है सब लोग का. पढ़ एग्जैक्ट के लिए रहे हैं पर दिमाग में है कि अरे जरा चेक कर ले कैट का उस क्वेश्चन का क्या हुआ, बाकी लोगों का क्या हुआ. शायद कोई साइट वेबसाइट या सम ऐप विल टेल मी दैट इफ आई एम गोइंग टू गेट अ 99 परसेंटाइल बिकॉज द अदर एप्स आर सेइंग 92 93. ये मोह माया में फंसे रह जाओगे तो फिर दिक्कत हो जाएगी, ठीक है. सो आप भूलो वो सारी चीजें, आगे बढ़ो, कॉन्सेंट्रेट करना पड़ेगा, देयर इज नो अदर वे अराउंड. ओके, अच्छा Ranvijay, give me a call, okay, after the class. Take care everyone. Bye bye. I'll see you again in the